Bow.
How are you?
Sanford and Son is up.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good theme song right there.
I'm wonderful. I'm tired. I've been working at the cottage all weekend, so I am pooped. I repaired a
There's
mailbox.
there's
I
a
painted a stairwell.
always a surefire way to elicit sympathy for people is when you is when in the request you tell them that you have a cottage.
I wasn't eliciting sympathy. You asked how I was, and I'm tired. I need no sympathy. I have a cottage.
Oh,
That stairwell right there. Yeah, it was beautiful.
I did not hear what came before that. All I heard was you point and say that stairwell right there. It was beautiful, as if it's not a stairwell anymore. Like, did you board it up or did you tear it down? Or
It's getting too dark to see how wonderful it looks. Yeah, so see, I know you're curious. So
I'm
here,
super
hold on.
curious. Hoping we can talk about
There we go.
VR too.
There we
Hey,
go.
look at that.
Not bad, huh?
That looks like a cottage. That looks like stairs that are just slightly too steep and a
Oh yeah.
little more narrow than they
And I
quote
walked
unquote
the
should
dog
be.
around this where the lake will be. And there she is.
There she
Uh,
is. There you have
she's
it.
not leaving my side because my wife is not here, and therefore I am uh, protector,
That looks like
defender,
it looks like a very
feeder.
sweet but a very needy dog.
I would say that's accurate. Both counts. Yeah.
The did you see the clip from Yo-Yo Ma getting his vaccination yesterday?
Oh, I saw a photo. I didn't see the clip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a clip running around too. It was pretty cool. Yeah, he I guess I'm just assuming the way that it went down is that he got his first shot. Which, by the way, this is refreshing because as I posted yesterday, like Yo-Yo Ma, he got this at Berkshire Community College. Like he's royalty up in the Berkshires, and he could have skipped the line with barely lifting a finger. And the fact that he's getting his second shot now means he didn't even like jump the line a little bit, and he was getting it at the community college just like everybody else. And I'm guessing that for his first shot, which I haven't had any of them yet, you haven't either, right?
Nope.
No, I didn't think so. Um, the that they make you wait for 15 minutes just to make sure that you're not going to like start like frothing at the mouth or you know do something like that. Actually, I shouldn't even joke about that because that doesn't happen with the vaccine because I forget that there are people who actually wonder about those things, so I should not joke.
You
Uh,
froth at the belly button,
yeah, exactly.
but only if you have an innie.
the but he brought. I'm guessing the first time he sat there, he's like, "Well, I wish I had my cello," so he brought his cello with him, and he serenaded everyone with some Bach cello suites. So
That's pretty good.
that guy's a national treasure.
I just watched. Have you heard the collaboration with him and Chris Thiele and Edgar Meyer and who's it? Stuart Duncan, I think. It's called Goat Rodeo, and then they have a sequel out called Not Our First Goat Rodeo,
The
and they have a song. They did a tiny desk concert remotely from four different locations, and one of the first song they played was "Your Coffee Is Terrible." Which apparently every morning when they're together on tour, they get together and discuss why the coffee that the others like is terrible. And they just like bust each other's chops about the way you like your coffee is terrible.
that's funny.
It is pretty
Well,
funny.
well, there's one person who has the high ground there, which is whoever doesn't put
Get
crap
it?
in their coffee. Yeah, say, hey, I did not get it.
I got the sense that it was a light roast, dark roast kind of vibe because he
Oh,
said that
there's some pretty
Edgar
clear high
Meyer
ground
and
there.
Yo-Yo Ma and Stuart Duncan, he said they prefer beans that were incinerated in a volcano for 100 years.
So so since you asked,
I did ask.
since I got 7 minutes of VR last week, which actually I probably care about a lot more than you care about my coffee bean rant, which you've already heard. The dark roast is a marketing concept that has been sold to the American public. You're all being lied to. See, now I sound like the person who thinks there's a microchip in the vaccine, but this isn't life or death. So the only way to get massive amounts of coffee beans that taste the exact same, like a Pike Place at roast at Starbucks in Akron, tastes the exact same as it does in Fort Myers, as it does in Albuquerque, is you have to roast the beans to the point where you roast all of the imperfections and all of the personality out of the beans. So all that you are tasting is roast. It's like you just are tasting roast and then it all tastes the same. And so they have convinced Americans through some brilliant marketing that has been all spearheaded by Starbucks that the darker the better, which just makes it easier for them to homogenize like tons and tons and tons of coffee. So if you like it, you like it. You don't need to worry about my opinion. But like the origins of it are the fact that it's just good for these ginormous companies to squeeze just a little bit more money out of everyone, and it doesn't actually taste like coffee. So there you go, Lance. So other than that, I'm a huge dark roast fan.
This is a very light
I
roast.
mean, I'm an old dark roast fan actually, but then I saw the light. I also used to like order my steak medium well, and then I was well, and I used to prefer fish cooked, although I actually like a lot of cooked fish. But yeah, Anyway, I've also drank an insane amount of really bad like church coffee. Boy, the coffee in Boston brass dressing rooms in random places across the country and around the world. That there were some times when it was like, there you go, But when the presenter would be like, would see the rider, which they would have for months, be like, do we actually need to make coffee? Be like, yep. Then I was like, I'll drink it. I'll drink it, even though I'm chewing on this. Like I'll drink this motor oil. So there. So
Take
there.
that.
Yeah. So there.
Your face is stupid.
Um. Oh, someone is saying dark roast from a local. See, I can't see who it is. Dark roast from a local roaster is the best way to go. If those are good beans, then those beans would be better if they weren't dark roast. That's the key.
That's Ellen, by the way.
Oh, that's Ellen. So did she just ignore my rant, or she's just very very politely disagreeing with it?
It's not clear.
Either way, it's fine.
And
The
Zach Kramer says Ethiopian for the win, and also wants to talk to Maple.
the
Unfortunately, this is what happened. I took her for a long walk today, so she's
she she
done.
look the look on that dog's face like at all times is just kind of like it's just always just like
She's an awesome comedy dog. Really super. She's very funny. Yeah.
Oh goodness gracious. So
And
there you
Ellen
go.
says, of course she ignored you.
Well, and there's a lot of dark roast beans that would not be better as light roast because they're not very good beans. But the really good ones will be, yeah. So anyway.
Zach said roached out clutch is not a coffee flavor.
I mean, I know what a roach is, but like, yeah.
What does
Anyway,
roached out clutch mean?
I think we might be. It might be a date of birth issue. I think we might be too old. As I keep repeating, as Nicholas recently said, wait, were you alive in the 1900s? Oh,
Now Cassie's signing. She's chiming in. Also very grateful to be on a refined palate journey, preferring light and medium roast and raw fish steak didn't used to be that way. Oh, raw-ish steak. I was like raw fish steak. I misread it. Sorry. Perkel wants to know about your recommendations for a great dark roast.
That is a trick question because there is no such thing as a great dark roast. So my recommendation would be to not drink it. So, yep, there you go. How about that, Perkel?
Now Alan's back in. Point being, you can get your beans from those you can trust. Test the roasting levels with the vendor to snag what works best for you.
I see. Yeah, no, if you enjoy the taste of burnt, then yeah, go all the way. Go dark.
Well, that was Ellen. I don't know if she's on the dark roast thing.
Oh, she is.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yep. Um. All right. So, oh, by the way, if anyone is looking for great coffee beans, the
Raquel said not a great response.
well,
And Bud
well,
Johnson said Clatch WBC. Again, I don't know what any of these
so
things mean.
the yes, espresso versus dark roast is very different. Yes, because the yes, those are different animals. And obviously, espresso beans are roasted quite a bit, but those are completely different. If anyone is also all right, I'll finish my coffee rant here. Is that if you're buying your beans pre-ground, then basically nothing else matters. So you don't need to worry about the temperature of the water or well, anything, because the most important thing is grinding them like right before you use them. So, if anybody wants some great beans to try, go to Camber Coffee, which is out of Bellingham, Washington. They have a coffee sampler, which is four 150-gram bags for $40, and that comes with free shipping. So, so anyway, um, so see, I wish I could see who is talking crap to me. I always get crap but if you talk to people that really know coffee, then they tend to agree.
Oh, Clatch Roasting is
Yes,
Bud Johnson has
Clatch roasting is
included
very good.
their
Yeah,
link.
Clatch roasting is good. Yep. So, yeah,
And
but
Ellen
so,
cast some aspersions.
well, yeah, about Italy. See, but the super dark roasts in Italy don't taste as good as the roasts that aren't burnt in Italy. I've drank lots of coffee in Italy. So anyway, I don't think Ellen and I are going to find common ground here, which I'm perfectly
Get it?
fine with.
So, if you were going to improve your coffee game, what would be the first step that you would take?
You mean me and my current coffee
No,
game? Oh,
no, one.
oh,
If one were to,
then start grinding your own beans.
okay.
That'd probably be the first
And
step.
then is there a particular kind of grinder that one needs?
Needs is it Barazza? I always get the letters mixed up, but I've got a really nice grinder that's probably like a couple $100, which the grinder does make a big difference, but you don't need to spend $200 to make. Yeah, you need a burr grinder is the kind of grinder that you need, not a blade, because the blade doesn't grind things up evenly. So um and then the water temperature, it depends on what kind of coffee you're making. Also, there's a couple of very killer drip machines, but most drip machines are not that good. And Keurig is awful. That's like terrible. And there's like 5 billion tons of waste produced by those stupid machines every year. So yeah, although you can't get replaceable ones, those are obviously infinitely better. So anyway, all right, let's move along from the coffee. Um,
Okay.
so how about the
Tea?
like? I like tea. I'm a coffee person, but I like tea. Like I like cats, but I'm a dog person.
What kind of tea?
I don't have a strong I mean it kind of depends on. I mean, I there are various green teas I like, there are various black teas I like. Um anytime that I haven't gone deep on the tea thing. So, my wife is a big tea drinker. She doesn't drink coffee at all, but I'm, anytime I'm traveling or whatever, I'm always seeking out the best coffee, obviously. So I don't ever seek out tea. And if there's a place that has both that are great, then I'm going with the coffee. So,
Right.
oh,
There you go.
you drink some coffee. You drink some tea too, right?
Yeah, I'm back on coffee. I gave it
Yeah.
up for a while, but yeah, I drink coffee. And tea, I like rooibos.
Yep.
But I
Yep.
also
That's
like
good.
green and black, and yeah. And Dave Perkel, I do like red wine. So yeah, I think that takes us through a lot of the beverages.
The it does
Did you ever
take.
read that book? Um, I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically a history of the world through four beverages.
No, I've heard of it.
It's really good. It's very interesting. I mean, I really like that that kind of book. and it was quite fascinating. I thought it was a very interesting book.
There you
Speaking
go.
of interesting pieces of content, we just both watched. Oh, I watched after you watched because you told me I should watch it, and it turns out you were right.
Wait,
Uh,
say that again.
you were right, Andrew.
Those are my favorite words in the English language. It's not because I have a huge ego and that I'm actually super insecure and need constant validation, which is why I always try and be funny. Yeah, I was right,
Hmm.
right?
It's fascinating.
Yeah. What
What's
have
it
we said what
called?
it is? In and of
No,
itself.
in and of itself. And who's the guy? Derek.
Uh,
Da 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 da.
it's Derek
In
Derek
and of itself.
Delgadio.
There you go.
Derek Delgadio. Yeah, it's for me the best kind of so frequently the best kind of art is like hard to describe. So like and that's doesn't I mean I love the band AC/DC. That is not a hard band to describe. They have like one song and they have like 50 versions of them, of which like 38 of them are just ridiculous, amazing rock anthems. Doesn't need to be complicated. But like a lot of the art I like is very hard to classify. And this is like it's well, how would you describe it? I'm curious because you've got a different angle on this than me because you've like studied comedy and he's not a comedian, he's a magician, but you've studied all that performing world. You know 100 times more about that than I do.
Well, it. I mean, he does it. It's a filmed version of a stage thing that happened 500 sometimes
Mm-hmm.
off Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it was kind of crazy. There's like a who's who. I think it's a combination of audiences, but there's a
It
who's
is
who of
for
some
sure.
pretty big names in the crowd.
Yeah.
But it what I really liked about it is that um, instead of being, it was about something, and the magic and the comedy and the storytelling was a means to an end. It was vehicle for, and
Yes.
there were these multiple layers to it, and that it wasn't. And then so then when there's magic tricks, um, they were just an organic part of the thing,
Yeah.
and they were it was so much more compelling and interesting.
Yeah.
I
Great way to
really
put it.
like watching Fool Us, Penn and Teller Fool Us, and oftentimes there's magicians from all over the world come on and they try and fool them,
Hmm.
and so they do this trick, and then Penn and Teller kibitz, and they say, and Penn sort of talks in code, and he says, "We think this and we think that. We think we know how you did this," and he'll drop some like lingo that lay people don't know. But they often will have people on that just have an amazing way of presenting what they present.
Right.
And even if they don't fool them, there's this appreciation for that I got that same kind of thing, and it was really just sort of it sticks with you. It was a very interesting. It asked big questions, and I mean, it was very powerful. I was really taken with it, and Frank Oz directed it, which I thought was cool. That kind of explained. I mean, that was I think, kind of a perfect choice to for of director. I thought was a really nice fit.
Who is that? I don't know who that
Oh,
is.
Frank Oz was Fozzie Bear. He was one of the guys from the Muppets. He did Yoda,
Hmm.
the voice of Yoda, and the
Hmm.
voice of Bert, and a bunch of Muppet characters. But then he also directed. He's directed a bunch of movies,
Hmm.
and he has a really cool aesthetic. And I think because he came from where he came from, I think his ability to capture that, it's not just a filmed version of the live thing. I mean, at its most basic, it is, but the way they put it together just made it feel way more immersive, I
It's
thought.
yes. It was it stunning storytelling. I mean, like
Yeah.
so many layers to. I know that when you were in charge, not that this wasn't the case before you, but when you were in charge of um, the Boston Brass programming that you
Hmm.
and JD work together, and that you put a lot of thought into the just like the story. Like
Hmm.
I don't think you actually did storyboards, but it's almost like there was a storyboard there. It was like taking you. It's like a great restaurant. It's not just that they cook amazing food. It's the order. It's the pace. It's the.
Yeah.
Like and some of the best food I've ever eaten in the world is completely expected, right? I mean, it's like a barbecue place with like knife markings on the plates, and like you're sitting at a picnic bench, and it's like the greatest thing that you've ever eaten. So, like mystery, it doesn't equal good, but some of those, where they use super familiar ingredient combinations in a way that has never been done before flavor wise, or just whatever. I mean, even the functionality of fill in the blank food is different. I mean, there's like things like that. There's just like little curveballs.
Yeah.
And that this movie and this show was I mean, yeah. And I don't want to I wish it was like the old days. It was easier to talk about stuff because it was like, well, if you missed it, you missed it, so we could just talk about the whole thing. I don't want to spoil anything. But what a yeah. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if if the average senior recital in college put 1% of the thought of taking the audience on a journey, on a journey, and it could even be like 100% sanctioned journey within the eyes of academia or whatever, but can you imagine if they thought that? I mean, it's like in general, all that goes into that is like, well, I need something up tempo for an opener. It's like, and then,
Right.
and then it's like, well, but I need my chops to be fresh for this. So that's got to go there. And then it's just like, kind of like, and that I guess works as a closer. And that's like the whole conversation. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. Like
Well, it's what's
1%.
most convenient for me to play in what order.
Yes, and
Like,
then
I
and then
don't
it's
care
and
what the
that's gotta
experience is like.
and that's gotta lay with like a little bit of expectations for what the audience is going to see, but not much, right? It's like, yeah, that's just kind of like a little check. Yeah, yes, this thing was, boy, it was great. Like not
Yeah.
just what was being told, how it was being told, the order of it. I mean, yeah, it really, really. You know what it reminded me of? Only in the sense that that I was thinking about it the next day was. Did you see the movie Parasite?
No, I
Oh
know what you mean, but no.
goodness gracious! You need to watch that like right away. I was
It won Best Picture last year, right? Or year before, whatever
it
it was.
did. They should
Whatever
they
year.
should give it Best Picture again the next year, just to make sure everybody knows how
And
good
I
it
thought
is.
I heard they're making a series out of it.
Are they really?
I thought I heard that.
That movie was whew, like I was Tiffany and I, so this is how long ago this was. We like went and saw it in the theater, and then like
Weirdos.
we went out to dinner the next day. I don't know what was happening. I don't know why we went on like two consecutive dates in a row, because that's just doesn't really happen after you procreate, but it did. That next night's dinner, we spent the entire dinner talking about the movie. It's like the whole dinner talking, and we didn't plan to. We just started. I mean, we talked about the movie for like an hour the
Wow.
next day. Yeah, like 24 hours later. The number of times, the number of movies that had an impact on me like that, completely different impact, but like Schindler's List, when I saw that in the theaters, like, and again, very, very different, but just in terms of like, the next day woke
Impact.
up thinking about it. Like, yeah, Schindler's List and that, and maybe like the 2004 Red Sox like World Championship DVD. I think that those are like that's probably like the three movies I've ever
Do they
seen.
have a blooper reel?
That yes, yes, it was from 1919 to 2003. It was like all of those years,
All
47 and
bloopers.
67 and 75 and 78 and 86 and 2003 and 99, and yeah, but I'm not bitter. Yeah, but that it was just powerful. Wow, is it
Yeah.
powerful? Yeah, really good stuff.
Miss Piggy, you're right. Sorry, Zach. Yes, Frank Oz was Miss Piggy as well.
Everybody needs to
Um,
watch it in and of itself.
oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And so then I saw I'm as you heard, I've been painting, so I have like some insane number of watch laters on my YouTube
Hey,
uh
I want
thing.
to interrupt you because I just want to say one other thing about that movie. I would strongly recommend that you go in completely blind. Like I would not Google it. I would just like that's I think that's worth saying is just to go watch in and of itself like without.
Let it unfold on you.
Yeah, I think you should just go in completely blind. So anyway, sorry.
Hmm.
Continue. What did?
Well, one of the things I had this backlog of videos that looked interesting to me that I just have never gotten around to watching. And so one of them was, um, did you see any of David Byrne's Utopia?
I have not, and I want to, but I have not.
And there's been, he's done little bits of it like on Colbert and some of the other shows. This looks awesome. Actually, I had some friends who went and they said it was just unbelievable.
Yeah,
But
same.
Spike Lee is directing a concert version of that, or maybe it's out. I don't know. It's on HBO, I think.
It's
But
out. It's
is
out.
it?
I thought
Oh,
that's what you meant was if I had seen that because I did not see the
oh,
live show. Yeah, I thought
yeah,
you meant yes. I don't remember a couple months ago, something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's on HBO. Well, and that's the other thing. Like, how many subscription services do you guys like? How many streaming services do you
Netflix,
subscribe to
Hulu, and Disney Plus. But Disney Plus came free with
for a
Verizon,
year? Right. Oh, yeah.
and then MLB
Yeah.
TV, which comes free with every year with T-Mobile. Um,
Well,
yeah,
Apple TV I had for a year because I either got a phone or a computer or something.
I have Apple TV, but that's only because it's bundled
Oh,
for
yeah, that's right.
it's
That's
essentially
right.
free because of the storage and there's
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I have
And
watched 0 seconds of anything on Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called. Not intentionally, but like I literally have not watched a thing. It just comes with, but I've had it for like 3 months.
yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've watched anything on there either. I've watched quite a bit on Disney Plus because of The Mandalorian,
Hmm.
and I finished WandaVision, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts next week. So, and then I'm probably going to go back in and watch some of those Star Wars animated things, the
Right.
Star Wars, the Clone Wars. But
Yeah,
I
but
mean, there's just too much
I'm
content.
not signing up for Peacock. I'm not there. There's another
Yeah,
like I'm just yeah I'm kind of
Paramount Plus or whatever.
I'm tapped.
Yeah,
So there was
but
somebody
yeah, that was what made me think of it. Is we, for whatever reason, just didn't have a Hulu subscription, so I had to sign up for it to watch this thing.
right.
And I found out Fargo is on there, which is a show I've been wanting to watch.
Hmm,
Um, Fourth season, actually, the most recent season. Chris Rock is the lead, and supposedly he's awesome.
hmm. There you
It
go.
takes Each season takes place in a different decade
Hmm.
of Fargo, apparently.
Speaking of which, it was just the anniversary of New Jack City.
Oh,
Speaking
really?
of Chris Rock, yeah, yeah. What anniversary would that have been? 35 years? What, I'm not. No. What year is the Anyway, I did just um yeah, that was a 1991, so 30 years. Yeah, that's about right. So,
Hmm,
um, yeah, Pookie.
how about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. How about that?
Well, they were talking about David Byrne was talking about seeing She's Gotta Have It, which came out in 1986, which didn't seem right to me. That movie had a huge impact on me. I loved Spike Lee's movies.
Right?
That was a really cool time in film. I mean, that's when Quentin Tarantino started cranking stuff up. Jim Jarmusch started coming out with some cool stuff. Robert Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was quite a generation of interesting filmmakers coming out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, guess what I did this morning for the first time in 21 years, Lance Leduc?
Flossed.
These aren't my real teeth, so no,
No,
I
I
don't
meant the
floss.
dance.
Yeah. By the way, my son is an expert, and then he does it all wrong. It's hilarious. Uh,
I
the
can actually floss, believe it or not. It
Oh,
surprises my children.
that's funny. I had a private lesson, right?
Wow.
The last person to give me a private lesson was Sam Palafian. So, and he's not even
Hey,
alive anymore. So that'll tell you how long it's been. Um,
dang.
yeah, no, but
How'd
this
it
was
go?
it went well. So
Were
yeah,
you
it went
nervous?
well. It's my buddy John Butte. It was on the bass. So it turns out that my pinky not very strong. So
Oh,
yeah, like he was just teaching me the various patterns and yeah, I mean I've never used my pinky for it's not even like a video game finger. I mean it's like the pinky on the left hand is used for nothing. Like not in my world, like nothing. So yeah, that's and I adjusted the height of the bass and I was just messing around with I think I've talked about this before, but it's I'm not a normal student because I have like all of this knowledge of how to construct baselines and I understand them and I can hear the various. I have a lot of unintentional rubato. So when something's a quarter note equals 60 and it's like, 8 bars of 4/4, those 8 bars will be exactly 32 seconds, but there's going to be a little bit of moving to the left and moving to the right on a it's like, yeah, and it's yeah, unintentional rubato. So but I'm starting to like just practice, just playing eighth notes. I've started doing two things. I've started playing along with like drum grooves on YouTube, and then just
Hmm.
screwing around on on one chord or doing like a two chord, whatever. And then I've also started playing along with with some of the more simple fish jams, like some of their
Mm.
more one or two chord. They got some really complex stuff that the funny thing is I can sing you the bass parts for all of that stuff. So if I go insanely slowly and play it at a time, I can play any of it, like right away. First time I try. But yeah, but at the speed and all that, like none of it. So but some of the more simple one and two chord stuff, I'll like hear Mike do some riff and then I will just kind of like, play that or figure that out slowly and then I'll try and put it in time, over what's happening. So, but it's pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. So,
There you go.
and
So
the
what's
big
your assignment for this week?
well, it is to I'm basically practicing some scale patterns with with just using all four fingers.
Mm.
And yeah, that's essentially what I'm doing. Like starting major scales like on the first finger versus the minor scale starting on the second finger. Um
Mm.
so yeah, yeah, I'm assuming it's interesting for John to be teaching me because he can like there's a bunch of stuff that he can start like, that he can start talking real advanced stuff, but it's like but I
Right.
can't play anything advanced. So it's like this totally unique set of circumstances. And you know what this is not surprising, but I have had to actually try to maintain a growth mindset for 0 minutes and 0 seconds. It's like 100% growth mindset the entire time. And that's been completely unwavering because it's like this brand new thing. And so
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, it's, which is interesting because, my attitude on the tuba when I work on it is, I think actually pretty good. It's pretty healthy, but there are times when it's, it's annoying. It's like, it just feels like it should
Right.
be going better than it is. So,
Right.
um,
Right. Right.
yeah, like I'm spending zero time denying reality. So, yeah. Anyway, so there. So
We
how
did
about
it.
that? We did it. What are do you have a big week coming up?
Um, Not terrible. Um, oh well, yeah, actually, thank you for asking. We're testing out the VR thing on Thursday, so we're
Oh,
gonna
by the
that'll be
way,
pretty fascinating.
guess what? You were talking to me about the cardboard thing that Google.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was they. I did not actually know this, but they had already discontinued that when we spoke last weekend. Like
Mm.
it's done. It's canceled. So it's very funny because I had heard that was possibly coming, but that was waiting for me in last week's This Week in Google, which I was listening to, 5 days late. So, and I thought like, oh, there you go. So they have, but Google like cancel stuff like it's
All the time.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like that's their thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
you know what you
It's all
need
about caves now.
with that big
VR caves, man.
yawn? You need some dark roast, man.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, the aroma of the dark roast really will wake you up faster
Feel the burn.
than coffee with flavor. Love you, Ellen. All right, Lance, I'm going to miss you. Oh, and you're not going to be on next week.
I'm not. I hope you have a wonderful time.
I am going to be joined by someone who doesn't know that they're joining me yet, so
Aw.
I do have to confirm that they are actually free. But we've got somebody who's dropping a new show on the Pedal Note Media ecosystem on Thursday, and it's going to be awesome because she is, well, she's more of a badass than by far than we were when we were eligible for being badasses, but sure as hell are than now. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's going to be great. So stay tuned to all Pedal Note Media channels for that. So, and it's like it's brass adjacent. I think that's a way to describe it, right? That's not good marketing talk,
Bah.
but because it's a brass player, but it's not about brass. So, but I think it's going to be pretty
Right.
fascinating. So,
Yeah, I think
anyway,
so too. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
well, I think that is that's going to about do it. So there you go.
All right.
How about that? All right,
All
everyone.
right.
Thank you.